What's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Real G, Real Talk. This week, I'll be interviewing international real estate broker Miriam Valencia, good friend of mine, and sit tight, you might learn something. Miriam, how you doing today?
Hi Gerardo, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me today.
Of course. Thank you for making time out of your extremely busy schedule to be on this podcast, right? So how Miriam and I first met, funny enough, right? When I was a peewee in this real estate game, I was looking for people to shadow, and first, Miriam was like the only person that looked approachable, right? Everyone else looked like they would put me down for even trying to reach out. Whether it's true or not, we don't know, right? But Miriam also at the time was a consistent top producer for transactions. So I said, let me stick around and see what I can learn here, right? Do you remember that, Miriam?
Yes, I do.
That was about a little over 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think you'd be sitting on this podcast with me when that first interaction occurred?
No, I didn't.
Well, here we are, right? So tell us about your introduction to real estate. How did you get started?
So I got my license in 2019, but I actually didn't use it until 2020 when COVID happened. I was a teacher then, and I decided it probably wasn't for me anymore. I had my license, and real estate is something I loved and wanted to practice. So I quit my full-time teaching job in May, and then June 1st of 2020 is when I went into real estate full-time.
Nice. So you were a teacher before, right? I mean, do you miss the kids any? Do you ever think like, mis niños?
I get to still see some of my students, and I get to interact with them through social media. The ones that we stayed in touch with, but I don't necessarily miss being in the classroom and like the administration work that came with it.
Yeah. What grades were you teaching at that time?
I was a high school senior teacher.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that must have been fun.
I loved it. The kids were fun. They were older, so it's not like. I'm sorry.
Oh please, I got some water right here.
Did you drink it already? I can feel my voice like cutting off as I'm talking.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, Miriam, stay off the vape, please. That way we can go into this smoothly. Anyways, what school district was this for?
I was teaching at Galena Park High School.
Nice. Okay. And with that, do you think that your experience as a teacher really helped you transition easier into more of a sales role in real estate?
Actually, it did, because I used my education background and to teach my clients. So when I started real estate, I realized there was a lot of sales, a lot of like, buy this house, the interest rate is this, but no one was really talking about the process. No one was explaining the process, especially not in Spanish. So
Right.
That's when TikTok was kind of starting up, and I got in a really good time where I started making informational videos, educational videos, and I would make them in a way where I knew people would understand, and they would look at my videos and they would message me and say, oh, actually that's easy, I have all of that. I never realized I could apply or qualify for a home. So I was utilizing everything that I learned as a teacher to now teach my clients instead of teach students, and then as a team lead and now as a broker, creating lesson plans, right? What do my agents need? And really breaking that down to now help them be able to guide their clients.
Mm. So you're still teaching, basically.
Still teaching, yes.
That's good.
Always
That's
a
good.
teacher, always a student.
That's good. Teacher at heart. We all should be students at the end of the day. So in that 2020 year, right, it was a crazy time for all of real estate, low interest rates, 6 feet apart, the masks, everything. Do you remember your first deal, and what were your thoughts as you were getting closer and closer to the closing table for the first time?
So I do remember my first deal. My first deal ended up turning into my second deal. But my first deal was with a client. She found me on Instagram, and now we're friends. We're actually still friends to this day. I've gone to her baby shower. She has a beautiful baby girl, got married in Greece. I love her. But we didn't know each other then. She went under contract, and it was just such a difficult transaction because the seller passed away. So his wife was selling the home. However, they ended up finding out that that seller had an illegitimate child. So now we had to track that child down because she had rights to the property
Oh my gosh.
in Texas. So she had to give up her rights so the mom could sell the home, but we couldn't find a child. When we finally found the child, adult child, she had passed away. So now we had to find her death certificate. I mean, it was a process, and it took us about 2 or 3 months to finally be able to close on the home, which is why I said it's turned into my second transaction. I had a client go under contract in that time, and it was such an easy, very simple unicorn transaction. Nothing went wrong. Everybody was happy, and we closed. And then eventually, I closed that first transaction.
Wow. I mean, how do you even train on that? You know, that's
You don't. And I made the mistake as a new agent of not having a team lead. So I was doing everything on my own, and I never recommend that to any new agent. Definitely get a team lead, get a mentor who's going to help you navigate to difficult transactions, because not everything, if any transactions, tend to be pretty easy. So I didn't have a mentor. I was crying. It took me 24 hours to write my first contract because I had no idea what a contract was, even though you take classes for it. But then you actually do it in real life, and you're like, what's happening here? So get a mentor, please.
Yeah, guilty. I felt the same exact way. I'm like, okay, I see my study course on this contract, but nothing's connecting here,
Yes.
right? So luckily I had people to lean on, like Miriam, like my team lead at the time when I first started out. But wow, that certificate, I mean, luckily it got done though, right?
Yes, it finally closed.
Good. Okay. Now, everyone who finally gets their license, they know better than the next agent is, how do I even go about my business, right? Because the misconception, and I can speak from experience, like, okay, I get my license, now I get the big money. No, that's the complete opposite. That's when the work actually starts, right? So when you started out, how did you inform yourself on everything as a beginner, and how did you put that into practice?
I would call everyone. So I was calling lenders, I was calling title reps. I tried reaching out to a few agents. I didn't get a lot of support in the real estate world. So I just knew that, well, if my clients have questions about their loan, let me find a really good loan officer. And I did. So I found a great loan officer. I still work with him to this day. And he has a background in finance, which was really good because he educated me on the numbers and how to explain those numbers to my clients and in a way that they would understand and that would really help them and bring value to them. I would talk to title reps, and a lot of that has to do with the legal aspect, which we can't practice legal, documents or contracts or give legal advice, but it helped me understand the backside of real estate and how to go about navigating certain situations to better assist my clients versus just like, oh, well, this is what it is, right? No, there's always a way we can make things work. We just have to find the right way to do it and then find the right people who can help us do it. But honestly, I would just call, and anytime a new program, a new loan, anything would come out, I would call my lender, hey, I just heard about this. Can you explain it to me? Break it down. Okay. And then I would break that down in an even more simpler way where I could explain it on social media in English and in Spanish, put those informational videos out there, and then the clients would reach out from those videos.
Wow, that's pretty inspiring. I mean, like I said earlier, you're teaching across a different field, but even now you're creating a window of opportunity for people who didn't even think they had a chance at home ownership, right? Have you been, okay, it's a weird question, but has that impact that you've delivered to people impacted you as how you manage your business and your day-to-day practice?
Oh, absolutely. Because you have to learn to be patient in real estate.
Yeah.
Because yes, there's deadlines, timelines, everything that we need to, everything is very structured. But at the same time, there's so many things that you cannot control and then I think every real estate agent has gone through this where you just get curveballs thrown at you and you have to be able to navigate them. So I had to learn a lot of patience. I had to learn how to navigate difficult situations and how to speak to my clients and help them understand that even though this is a difficult transaction, it's still possible. So keep their hopes up while keeping my hopes up and still working on the back end of like, hey, we can still make this happen. We're working as hard as we can. Don't get discouraged. Like, it's completely possible. So I guess in a way it's very like psychological, working with people and being able to help them through this entire part. And I had to learn a lot of that. And my bachelor is in psychology, but this is when I really put it into practice of like, you kind of become their therapist, right? You speak to them, they tell you their story, they tell you what they want, and you really have to listen to your clients' needs to understand and really be able to help them. And I had to learn that on my end. Like, I need to learn to be more empathetic. I need to focus on my clients. I need to find the best way possible to help them through this home ownership journey.
Wow. And you carry that empathy, hard work, tenacity over the course of 4 years until you finally decided, hey, you know what? Like Miles Morales said, I'm gonna do my own thing. So what would you say was the pivotal moment to where it's like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing? When did you decide for yourself you want to start your own brokerage?
I was looking for a brokerage that was very educational, that I could keep learning from, that would care about its agents, but also focus a lot on real estate, right? What is real estate, and how to keep helping agents move up, right? Like, if you are a team member, how does that, how do you transition to becoming an independent agent, to becoming a team lead, to becoming a mentor or a director of some sort in a brokerage, or become a broker right after that, right? I didn't want to have any limits for myself. I don't believe in limits, and I don't believe any of my agents should have limits, or any real estate agents should have limits, right? So when I opened my brokerage, it was with the idea of how much can we grow, how much can I grow, and how much can I help other people grow. And I think I've definitely seen that inside the brokerage. We've had agents that started as new agents that are now killing it, right? Top producing agents, closing 2 million a month, just like absolutely doing amazing. But more than that, right? Reaching out to the community, helping out, putting themselves out there. You doing a podcast, right? Did you ever imagine,
No,
sitting
honestly.
here and interviewing different people and like really putting yourself out there? So it's just seeing the growth in people that I absolutely love. And that was what I wanted, what I envisioned.
Well, you're not only a teacher, but you're a gardener, watering your students here, allowing us to grow. That's beautiful. She has a green thumb. I see it right there. Now, some what you don't see too much, right, is sort of that transition from agent to broker, right? Now you're still an advisor, but you're putting on a new cap, and on the front it says entrepreneur.
Right.
Right. So what would you say? We're about to hit the 2-year anniversary. Congrats, by the way, of Alumbra International Properties. What would you say are some of the harsh truths about entrepreneurship that you wish you could have gotten some more insight on?
So there's not really a playbook that tells you this is how you run a successful brokerage, right? Everything you do, you kind of learn on your own. You learn as you go. There's ups and downs, there's growing pains, there's just so many more behind the scenes of learning finance, learning business, learning marketing. You have to learn all of these different, I guess you have to wear all these different hats, like you said it, in order to be able to run a business. And it's not like, we go to school for every single area that a business needs. You go to school for one thing, and then everything else you kind of learn from experience. So the hardest part has been that, and last year I really threw myself into like a lot of different classes. I took leadership classes, I took commercial classes, I took international classes. I mean, I was just trying to get in and learn as much as I can for the brokerage, for the agent, so that I can know how to better help them and not just say, oh, look, here's a brokerage, right? I want a good brokerage that actually helps agents, but I feel like I needed to learn how to do that before I could even offer it to them. And maybe I'm not head of, marketing, but I do know how to dabble in marketing. I don't run the account in the back, but I do know how to look at QuickBooks and run the QuickBooks. So it's like, I think every entrepreneur should definitely know every area, every aspect of their business, even if they're not the ones entirely working it, but you have an idea of what's going on. You always know what's going on. You should know what's going on. And then you can work with the right people who can help you build that. People who know more than you, right? And that's probably the biggest thing is you don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. You want to surround yourself with people who know more than you so that you can keep learning. So entrepreneurship is really a journey, and it's a never-ending journey.
And you see, that's why I invited her, because she's the smartest person in the room. So I'm learning a lot today, right? Now, um, sorry.
Oh, what happened?
Oh my gosh. So you've been the face of the business now for almost 2 years. I mean, do you ever really feel any pressure being that face, having to be on the front lines of the business every single day?
I think the pressure is something that I've gotten used to, but I definitely see a pivot in my life happening right now, especially as I go back to school but still run a brokerage and having my own personal view on things and my own opinions on certain things. It's like, how can you, because I've always been for the community, right? So it's like, how can I keep supporting the community without putting my emotion into it, but still advocating for what I believe is right? I think as a business owner, that's probably one of the most difficult things. I know some people, it's kind of like a no-brainer, like it doesn't matter, this is what I believe in. But at the same time, it does have to do with a lot of finances, I would say, as a business, because you don't want something to impact your business in a negative way because there are so many people depending on you for it. I've seen businesses become, they're gone from one day to another because of the way the business owners have portrayed themselves in the front end. And for them, it may be a little bit easier. They're like, oh, we have money, we may just open up the next business, or my family can take care of me. Or I'm a single mother, I'm running this company by myself, I funded it by myself entirely. So it's like I am very cautious of what I do online. So it is a pressure of knowing what to say and when to say it.
Right.
But I think with time, I've gotten a little bit more used to it. It's just navigating. It's always just like knowing and watching every little step that you do.
Right. Every single thing you're doing, you're kind of recording the feedback to yourself,
Yes.
knowing, hey, this might be a little riskier. Like getting on this podcast might be a little riskier, but hey, who knows? But that's a good thing. Like you said, you don't feel any pressure about it. You've gotten used to it, and the good thing is you do have a strong team to support you as well. But there is a saying in the entrepreneurship space, you may have heard it. They say it's lonely at the top, right? do you ever feel isolated in any sort of sense? And if so, like how do you ground yourself back to your CEO headspace?
Yeah, I think there was a time whenever I first opened Alumbra, maybe the first year, that I felt like that because you don't have time to socialize too much. As much as I try to network and go to events and meet people and take my agents out to those same events and put them in rooms that I don't know if they've been in before or not, but try to open doors for them too. I think there was a time where I dealt with maybe friendships falling out, relationships falling out, being told you work too much, or you care too much about this, you do too much about that, and you kind of start hearing too much a lot that you not start believing it, but you start questioning yourself, like, am I too much? Why can't I just be okay with this? But now I'm in a position where I have great friendships, I have a great support system, my house, my family, where they're all cheering me on. And I think if anybody ever comes to me now and tells me that I'm too much, I am absolutely too much. I know that now. Like, I own up to it. I love being too much. I love wanting more and wanting to do more. And I think if somebody feels that I'm too much, oh, I'm absolutely too much for you. And whether it's a friend or a relationship, right? That means stay away from me because I don't put myself in a box. So why would you try to put me in a box? And at that point, I just happily walk away because I know that they just don't belong in my life.
Period.
So it was lonely for a little bit, but I think God just takes you to where you're meant to be and puts the right people in front of you.
Period. That's what it's all about in this podcast, authenticity.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that. Now, you touched on this a little bit earlier, right? But whenever you've been going on your journey here, real estate, CEO, international broker, how have you been navigating being a single mother as you grow your business?
So Evangeline comes with me everywhere. I think every single agent and most of my clients have met Evangeline. She's really grown up with me in a way. Even though she's 7, I feel like she's like this tiny little adult. She's still a baby at the same time. So I would say integrating being the mom with being a business owner. I do, of course, separate the two because Evangeline does need to have a childhood. She needs to have childhood memories. She needs to be a kid. But at the same time, it's like, hey, baby, I have to work, and you just have to come with me to the office today. And she's gotten really great at understanding, like, oh, okay, mom, but I'll be in the conference room and I'll watch TV and I'll eat my food there. And she kind of does her own little thing. So I think it's really just getting her to understand I need to work, right? I need to provide and I need to do all of these things. And she now understands it. I think it was a little bit harder when she was little, and plus she would cry a little bit more. So it was like, no, baby, it's okay. Like, we're going to get home. I know you want to do this, but it's a balance, right? And I honestly couldn't have done it without my family's support either, because every now and then I was like, Mom, can you help me watch Evangeline? And she'll help me watch her. But it really does take a village.
Shout out to all the mommies out there helping out with the family. Now, do you see Evangeline following your footsteps? I mean, she's very close by, so she sees what that life is like.
Yes, I hope so. I feel like she's very free and artistic, but I also was like that when I was young in her age. I feel like I didn't really develop like a business mindset until I started real estate. I was a dancer, right? And I loved to paint and I loved the arts, and that was me. I was a little bit more artsy, and then I switched to like, well, actually this is fun. I like this. Let me structure, let me build, because to me it's still creating. It's just in a different environment. I'm creating a business. We're creating growth. We're creating opportunities. So I don't know. So far, she's like, no, I don't want to see any more houses. So who knows if she wants to get into real estate one day. I think right now it's a no for her, but we'll see where life takes her.
It might grow onto her.
It may.
I mean, look at Gabriel. Didn't he say that he wanted to be an agent as well?
He did.
Yeah. So
I want to sell houses when I grow up.
Yeah. So that's beautiful though, having her by you so she can see your progress, you can see hers as well. I think that's priceless. Not too many people get that same opportunity. So that's what makes it even more valuable, taking on that role as a realtor, as a broker, sort of having that freedom to do that as well. Right. We're about to wrap it up here on the question side of things, but I have one more. What are some daily or weekly habits that you don't miss that contribute to your success?
Showing up at the office every Monday. Every Monday I show up. I have a to-do list, and I'm checking off that to-do list, every single little thing. If I don't show up, I don't check off that list, I know I'm not going to be productive the rest of the week, because now I'm going to feel like I didn't get anything done. I have this, I have that. Everything just kind of falls on my shoulders. So I have to absolutely show up every single Monday. I have to check off my list. I have to make the calls. And it's just kind of like those hard things that may not be hard, but it's like you don't want to do. You keep pushing off, or I'll do this tomorrow. Oh, I'll take care of it tomorrow. And it's like, well, tomorrow never comes, right? So Monday is my tomorrow. It's the day that it's like, this has to get done, because it's been pushed back too much, or it's like, no, this is immediate, it's urgent, we need to get it done. Checking emails, checking phone calls, checking texts. I try to respond to everyone within 24 hours, and if for some reason I miss a text, which mainly happens when Evangeline's like watching YouTube and she'll open a text and then I don't see it. I'm like, no, I didn't respond. I'm so sorry. But I have a 24-hour time frame window for myself. Like, respond to every person within this time. I don't think anyone's too busy to not get a response back in that time frame. So just trying to be very intentional about that. And if I do miss something, I'm so sorry. I try. I will continue trying. But I would say those are the main things.
And with that strategy, you're not only defeating Sunday scaries, but also Manic Mondays too. So I'll take a note out of that book. I feel like Mondays are International Eat the Frog Day. Have you heard that saying?
Yes.
Like, you just gotta do the things that probably suck. They're not the most glamorous, but like you said, it helps you with the productivity for the rest of your week. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're going to transition now to the next part. It's going to be just a quick rapid fire before we close this out. Are you ready?
Oh, goodness. I didn't know we were doing this.
That's the point. You're not supposed to know.
Goodness.
You're supposed to be ready for these rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for these life-changing questions?
Okay, let's do it.
What's your coffee order?
Decaf.
Decaf?
I can't have coffee right now, so every time you see me with a cup of coffee, it's decaf. It's so sad, but it's true.
Noted. Okay. What's the first thing you do every morning?
TikTok.
Guilty.
Instagram.
I'll tell you I'm guilty on that too. It's like, what are the trends? Who liked me? Who commented?
You're not supposed to, but I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh. Okay. If you weren't in real estate, where would you be?
Dancing in Broadway.
Snap it up for that. What has been your favorite vacation destination?
Ooh, between Hawaii and Japan.
Nice. Okay. And then one word to describe Houston real estate right now.
Relentless. We can do this.
Yes, we can. Okay. Before we close this out, Christian, hand me that deal I was telling you about. I said, hand me the deal, not throw it my way. Golly.
You wanna do a retake of
No, we'll just clip that. We'll clip that. Oh my gosh, you threw my headphones out.
Oh God, bro, you're okay, bro. I'm sorry, you have
Jesus. I'm trying to give this gift here. You broke the box. Oh my gosh.
Bro, I ruined it, man.
You did. No, I pointed at this specifically. Oh my
Is this
gosh.
gonna be in this whole thing? It's gonna be in the video?
Hey man, we'll get you.
Yes, it is. We'll clip that.
Hey man, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. So what I was trying to do, I was trying to gift Miriam as a thank you gift this Steve Rogers Captain America Funko Pop. If you look, there's half Steve Rogers, half Captain America, and that's kind of how I like to see Miriam, right? She's half amazing mother, amazing person, but when the time comes to put the helmet on, she's the one doing the thing. She's the one leading the way. So Miriam, this for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I love it. He's my favorite superhero.
I wish the box was a little bit better condition, but that's okay. It just adds character.
You're gonna have a brand new box. A brand new box.
Break it, you buy it.
It adds character. Oh my gosh. Okay. Miriam, where can people follow you on social media to follow your journey?
So follow me at Miriam the Broker on Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok and Facebook. I don't use it too much, but you can try and follow me there. Beacon's website, which is now coming live, where you can also shop my outfits and just really follow my journey of being a mom, being a real estate broker, and being a student going back to school.
Period. I'll be checking out that website. Maybe I might get something for myself on the clothing store. But that's it for today's episode, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to follow for the next episode, and we'll see you next time.